What up, boys, and welcome back to yet another video. So in this series, I've basically done 100 runs of a specific dungeon, and I've saved all of the loot that's worth mentioning for this specific video. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I run the dungeon, talk a bit about the loot table, and then eventually show you guys everything that I received after doing it 100 times. And the dungeon that we're going to look at today is the Temple of Atal Hakar, or the Sunken Temple, which is located in the Swamp of Sorrow. So you just enter it in this temple right here. Super easy stuff, right? So before we do so, I do want to mention that you guys can still get the 0 to 10 million gold guide, and by using the code Shadowlands, you will get it for 50% off. So this is a step-by-step basis book that's super easy to follow along. Everyone can do it. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of experience or no experience whatsoever. And the best part about it is that whenever new content for the game comes out, I'm updating the book for free for that content. So next expansion, Dragonflight, updating the book for free for Dragonflight. So make sure to check it out. It's going to be linked down below in the description. And it's also soon going to be updated with what I'm stockpiling for Dragonflight in order to make big profits when the expansion hits. So I'm running this on a druid, a movement speed druid. I have like 210% movement speed on this guy. And the routes, I mean, I'm going to do the dungeon so you guys can see how to run it. But it's like the shortest dungeon ever, besides from like stock 8s and stuff, right? It's super easy to do. You basically, like in this place, you can't go wrong. It's impossible to do anything wrong. There is, however, a couple of things to consider if you want to do it very efficiently, though. So you definitely want to click on that skull, the pile of skull, to summon the boss. And another thing worth mentioning, since you can only do 10 resets in a dungeon per hour, it's worth it to bring skinning into this dungeon and skin the mobs. Because if you don't bring skinning and you just do like I'm doing right now, you will be dungeon locked out in like 25 minutes or so. So after going into the Sanctum of the Fallen Gods, you don't want to go and do the natural step, which is walk into the next hallway. You want to skip this one and go down to the Prophet, because there won't actually be any dragons to kill. You can't kill the dragon unless you kill the Prophet. So go down. There's no point in targeting the ads in this room alone. Is simply by tagging the boss, and all the mobs will run towards the boss, besides from these two casters, and then you can just AoE him down, loot, and you're good to go. And before anyone leaves that question down below in the comment section, yes, normally I would always loot the mobs as I go. Like I would right click all of these, loot them up, and then over to the next pile of mobs, right? But since I'm showing the route only in this video, and I've already have loot from 100 runs in my bags, I can't be urged to loot them again. Sure, I could be missing out on items worth hundreds of thousands of gold, which leads me to the next part of the video, and that is why you should do Sunken Temple. So first of all, for skinning, it's pretty damn decent. It gives you a ton of leather. And besides from that, the world drop loot table in Sunken Temple isn't that cool. However, the dungeon is filled with blue items, unique looking blue items, especially a lot of weapon transmog. And these items can only drop inside of Sunken Temple, so it's definitely worth it to run Sunken Temple just to get those marks up on the auction house. It is, however, still transmog items though, and as you guys know, transmog takes a while to sell unless you have a big pile of different transmog, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get a bunch of sales daily. But that was pretty much it for the route. Like, super simple dungeon. I'm not going to drag it out any further. We're going to take a look at the loot table. What did I receive after doing it 100 times? So, I've personally done 60 runs or so without getting a single Sunken Temple specific blue. I've also received 5 blue items in just 10 runs. So RNG is big. This time around, I managed to get 8 blue items, so almost averaging a blue item per 10 runs, which is pretty normal, right? I've received more than this, and I've also received less than this. We're going to take a look at the world drops first. I got myself a Lave Lilies. It's dog shit, but I just wanted to show that I did get an epic after the 100 runs. And then I only saved some Alabaster pieces that drop because it tends to be a good set. Like the sell rate on this is decent, and I always sell these eye patches. Eye patches that just fly off the auction house. But that's not that interesting because it is really just the blue-specific Sunken Temple item that are of interest. So I got myself the Mistwalker boots, 84k market value in the region. These Silver Shell leggings, 153k, dog shit on my realm. I got myself the Winter's Bite. These leggings, by the way, are actually quite cool. Like this belt is definitely in the way. But I've sold these leggings for way above 100k in the past. I have. And then we have the Winter's Bite. This bad boy. Always sell this one as well. 147k market value, 61k in my realm. I got double Bludgeon of the Grinning Dog. Now, this one is actually decent. A lot of people are going to look at this stuff and they're going to be like, shit, who's going to buy that? But it has a market value of 100k. It's actually more than that in my realm. And more importantly, usually when you look at a Transmog item, you can see the stats according to TSM, and it says market value in the region 153k. Reach and sale average 11k, right? This one actually has a pretty damn good reach and sales average as well at 62k. So keep in mind that a lot of people who have no clue about Transmog, they're not using TSM, when they get these items, they're going to throw it up on the auction house for close to nothing, and that drastically takes down the reach and sales average. And then I got myself some Death Blows, these swords. Pretty cool. I'm pretty sure this is the same appearance as the epic version that drops from the boss in the dungeon, which these days is super easy to get, but once again, these also sells. The best item you can get in the dungeon is the Stealth Blade. Stealth Blade is good. I think it has a market value of like almost 500k, but it is also relatively hard to get. It's not a super item by no means. I mean, it's the same chance, roughly, getting a pair of Mistwalker boots as you do a Stealth Blade. But there's just so many different blue items that getting that specific one can be hard. Now, if I were to post all of this on the auction house on my realm, it would all be valued at 1.1 million gold if it's sold like it is right now. So that would mean that I would make 110,000 gold an hour. Does that make it 110,000 gold an hour dungeon? Not necessarily. The items are worth as much as someone is willing to pay. Like it's always that way with Transmog. So a lot of these items can sell for way less. I can post them now for 1.1 million gold, and they might take weeks, months to sell. And eventually, once everything's sold off, maybe I just sold it for 400k. You never know. That's the game of Transmog, though. However, that was the last minute of this video, at least. So if you guys got any suggestions on what dungeon or open world farm I should do next for 100 runs or 10 hours, please leave your suggestions down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. And of course, you don't want to miss out on the 0 to 10 million gold guide, which will be updated automatically whenever Dragonflight comes out. And then, of course, before Dragonflight, the stockpiling list and all of that. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all back in at tomorrow's video. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.